But how is that possible?
Because this is Chongqing, the city where a train goes through an apartment building, and 32 million people get to witness this insane drone show every Saturday night, where food is cheap and tasty.
Wow, it's so good.
And there are a lot of options to choose from. Plus, a tourist attraction that you're alone at in China, almost unheard of. All of this can be found in Chongqing. Let me show you.
So we made it on the train. This is going to be a 5.5 hour ride.
We are currently heading from Xi'an to Chongqing, a city of 32 million people.
Just woke up and we're almost at the station, so I'm excited about that.
Are we the only ones who heard that guy in the background?
We've made it to Chongqing. I slept the entire way on the train, so I'm ready to go. This is the home of Szechuan. Unfortunately, I burned my throat on the hot pot last night.
So that means I don't think I will be having any Chongqing hot pot while we're here. But as we drive into the city, I already start seeing all of these huge buildings. This is the largest city in the world and therefore the largest city in China. Chongqing is nicknamed the Cyberpunk 5D city. This is due to it having a unique and multi-layered architecture where buildings and roads are built into the hilly landscape. Take a look at our hotel here. This is the Indition Hotel. There are a ton of different hotels like it, but we booked this one because this room is a little bit different than most that we found. Obviously, this view is insane, but after you walk through here and go up all through here, you have an entire other floor with a second bathroom, and then you also have an overhang where you can look out and see these insane views from above. Overall, this room is so cool, and I cannot believe we only spent $100 on it. This famous building, similar to the one in Singapore, is right outside our door.
We're here at Baiyi Food Street and it is crazy. There is so much going on here.
Sorry I'm yelling, but it is so loud here.
Chongqing is really known for their red peppers and spicy peppers. So here they have a bunch of beef and peppers. Obviously I can't eat that, but
I'm not totally sure, but I think that this is some type of beef with a very spicy topping. You can basically try anything here. See, like this lady is making all of these sesame snacks, and then there's this whole area to the left of her where you can try all of them. So
let's try some of this. Basically, there are all of these different food street areas that you can go in any of them, and there's like a bunch of different vendors.
It's almost like a carnival meets a food street meets, I don't even know. I truly think I have never been to anywhere like this in my life. It is very overwhelming, but also very exciting and a lot of fun, of course. That is, if you like trying different foods.
To be honest, it's a bit traumatizing for a vegetarian here. A lot of meat. Let's see what we can get with only $10.
Of course, I need to do a lap, so I am walking all around and looking at all of the different things. There are so many different marinated things, and there's also, surprisingly, a lot of chicken feet. Like, this entire shop right here is dedicated to different flavors of chicken feet. There's also a lot of raw meat and skewers just hanging out, waiting to be chosen and cooked. Lucky for me, I am stumbling upon this tofu pudding lady. This is obviously vegetarian, and I did confirm with Google Translate.
First, we're gonna try a tofu pudding, and it's not spicy because Dilara cannot have the sesame generally, so that is usually what comes along with the spicy.
Yes, I am slightly sacrificing myself here, but it's okay. I'm just going to get it on the side, and I guess I will just add it on later. I love how much care she's taking with scooping it out. There's no rush here. She wants to add all of the toppings accordingly, and look at all that stuff she put on there.
It is totally vegetarian.
Ooh, and at first try, I really like it.
Pretty good.
Then I walked over near this lady and she kind of beckoned me over, and then I also saw that she's rolling out fresh made dough. So obviously I'm going to stop and watch her, and somehow I got roped into paying for one. But that's fine because I did not realize that I was going to be able to witness her literally flinging this up in the air as though it's a pizza. She is incredibly skilled. This is so much fun.
Come to Chongqing and you also get a show while you're waiting for your food.
All right, sit back, relax, and watch as she makes this incredible food.
Time to eat. It's so hot. We both agree that this is so good. There's a little bit of sweetness. There's like a tanginess, almost a cheesiness. It's so good.
All right, now I'm using Google Translate to just check out what is actually on this board. And once I confirm what it is, hot and sour noodles, it's time to attempt to order. It was a little bit difficult making sure that they knew no meat, but in the end, I was able to secure it.
This is a very well-known delicacy from the region. It's hot and sour noodles, and you're supposed to eat it when it's hot outside. A lot of times they'll put spicy on it, but it's really good. It has a lot of nice flavors in it. There's some pickles, there's some peanuts. My mouth is tingling. Look, you can see my lips are super red. Okay, now let's go into this one across the street.
And what do we have here? Turkish ice cream. So funny. I'm dancing a little bit and then I'm suddenly greeted by this woman. Seriously, this is one thing that I love about China and about this area in Chongqing is samples.
It rained, but let's find some dessert.
And I'm pretty sure that I just found the ultimate dessert. This is hot pot ice cream because Chongqing is known for hot pot, and I just had hot pot last night, so I might be a little bit burnt out on this, but whatever. I feel like this is definitely not something that everyone would try.
Ooh, hot pot ice cream. Wow, it's so good.
It's savory and sweet. I love it.
Jasmine oolong ice cream.
The lattice is pretty, and it also tastes pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Let's looked up one flight of stairs. So how are we on the 23rd floor?
Seriously, one flight of stairs to get this high. It doesn't make sense. But it also doesn't make sense for the 23rd floor to be directly next to the 25th floor, or actually above the 25th floor. However, that's what makes Chongqing Chongqing. So let's go back and let me show you how I even got up here. Starting on the street level.
I only walked up one flight of stairs, except how am I on the 9th floor? Walking up one more flight of stairs. And now I'm on the 22nd. So how is that the 9th? Don't believe me? Let me show you.
Here you can see we're on the 9th floor. I pan over here. We are one floor below the 23rd.
But how is that possible?
Chongqing is a 5D city. It is built over hills and multi-layered architecture with multiple ground levels, which creates a very disorienting but fascinating urban experience. And honestly, it is so cool. You have to see it yourself. Now, maybe something even cooler is this cityscape. Again, this is the largest city in the entire world, and every single night, there is a beautiful light show at 8 p.m. where all of the buildings light up the night sky. It's actually really impressive to see this start out without the lights on and then see them light up. It is just the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I do have to say that this is the view from our hotel room, and not having to leave our hotel room while this happened and just watching it from the comfort of wearing pajamas is probably the best choice we made on this trip. Highly recommend doing this. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Just woke up in Chongqing. I am so excited because we are going somewhere super cool today. You know Chongqing as the Cyberpunk city, the 5D city, but did you also know that there are some historical things nearby? Our guide is already here waiting for us. Let's get going and see some cool stuff. Okay, I am actually really sad to say goodbye to this beautiful view. But again, history is calling, so let's go check it out. Long day ahead of us. Let's get some coffee first. So we're heading out of Chongqing and we're going to the Dazu Rock Carvings today. I booked this excursion with a private driver and an English-speaking guide on Klook. It was really easy. They messaged me before we were supposed to go, and now we're picked up and we're leaving. It's going to be about a 2-hour drive today. So we're gonna hang tight with our coffee that I just picked up, maybe take a little nap, and then we'll arrive pretty soon. As we're leaving the city, we see the famous train that actually goes through an apartment building. This is something that I've only heard of and seen on different videos. So I'm really excited that we actually get to see this in action. I can't imagine what it's like to actually live inside of that apartment building. All right, so for today, you can see that we're in a private car, and I actually booked this on Klook. The app is very easy to use. It's completely English friendly. Has your tour information right here and also your pickup information, and then you can talk to the operator directly through the app. As you can see, my itinerary is all laid out here with photos and explanations, so I know exactly what to expect. Klook also has a bunch of other options for things nearby. So let's just say that you're in Chongqing for 3 days. You can go on here and you can look through and you can find a bunch of different things to do. You can use my code Chloe Jade for 10% off anything on Klook. Okay, but to start off our tour, we are getting some lunch first. This is what I love about Klook, is that the activities are very authentic. So we're literally being taken to a family restaurant. As you can see, there's the owner with his baby right there. This is a well-known dish here. It's called tofu pudding. I'm really excited to try this because I've only had it in the market the other day. All right, so this is the menu. We had to decode it using our translator, but I'm really excited to see what we're gonna get. And this is it. You get this yummy sauce on the side. Got a bunch of rice here. Yummy. And then we're gonna take the tofu, dip it into the sauce, put it on the rice and eat it. Yum! This definitely lived up to the hype. It is so yummy, and I'm gonna make this at home when I go back.
Let's go to the Dazu Rock Carvings.
So we've just arrived and there is literally no one here. This is amazing. I may have complained about there being too many tourists at that one site in Xi'an, but there is literally no one here. So when Buddhism was introduced to China from India, they built so many different monuments, Buddhist monuments, sculptures, and so today we're going to see one of those. This was during the Tao period. First things first though, check our passports. This is always a little contentious anytime that you're faced with a police officer, but the whole thing was very smooth. They took pictures of our passports and us, and then we went in. This is about 1,000 years old. That's the thing about China. Things are just generally so old and there's so much history here. Okay, but we're walking up a few sets of stairs and I'm getting a little bit out of breath, so let me take a break. And wow. We have arrived to the oldest rock carvings in the entire place. This is the 1,000-armed and 1,000-eyed Avalokitesvara. It was made in 892 AD, and this entire cave contains 44 statues. You can see 10 sculpted Buddhas on either side. Now, while these are impressive, I've been told that as we go on, they get even more impressive. Now, just in this next individual cave, there are 27 statues. The next cave is 41 statues displaying Buddhas of 3 periods and 8 classes of supernatural beings on the left and right sides. I think most people do not realize how complex Buddhism is in a way. I mean, look at this cave and look at all of these individually carved Buddhas. It is really just incredible to know that these are from 980. Let's go to the next section. It is really wild to me that while so many Chinese sites are heavily flooded with tourists, this site showing ancient calligraphy from thousands of years ago has no one. I mean, look at this detail. Now, as I mentioned, things will only get younger from here. This is from the Song dynasty, about 1,000 years ago in 960 AD, and every carving here tells a story. This one about a female ogre who steals children and eats them, but finally stops once she is enlightened by Buddha. She then becomes a goddess who specifically protects children. Now, this next one doesn't have a crazy story, but I just thought that the detail was incredibly intricate. She has warriors on either side of her protecting her. They are so big, larger than life, with so much detail in a literal rock in the side of a mountain.
The Peacock King.
I have to say this is one of my favorites. From 1100 AD, the Peacock King sits on a lotus throne, carried by a peacock and surrounded by 1,000 carved Buddhas. Wow. So if you can see through there, there's actually a bunch more rock carvings through there, but we can't see them right now because they're still restoring them. It's crazy how many are here. How freaking cool would it be to go walk all in there and see all of the other ones? Wow. Walking along this next cave, there are 67 statues. As it led to this final culmination, I was just in awe. I mean, look at the colors that are still on here after so long. It's truly so beautiful. When you think of Buddhism and you think of Buddhist carvings, these are very similar to what you've probably seen elsewhere. As we continue on, we're starting to see hints of Confucianism because we are moving into a different period of art. So although these are called the Dazu Rock Carvings, there are actually a bunch of different carvings within this area, which is the Dazu district. having said that, now we are walking to a different part of the complex. Along the way, there is a stonemason actually carving some type of souvenir that people can buy, and this is so cool to see. But we're actually going to drive to the other part of the Dazu Rock Carvings, so let's get into our private car. This is pretty cool. They have lots of water spraying just to keep things very temperature controlled, but look how grand this one is. So cool. Okay, now as with anywhere in China, I highly recommend taking the shuttle if it's available. This is a long way to walk, and there were people actually walking on the way. For now, it's just us and a few aunties and uncles in this shuttle. We already signed in with our passports. All we have to do is put our face into the machine and we're let in. So this area is called Baodingshan Rock Carvings, and you are going to be so impressed by these. Some of the depictions here actually get a little bit scary, so I'm excited to show you guys these. These were carved during the Southern Song Dynasty, which is between the years 1127 until 1279 after death. Can you see the difference in the style?
This character means longevity and the other one means happiness.
These are just wild to me. They are in a cave, and so the color has been preserved so well. Basically, this is a collection of 8 different Buddhas in here. Then you have a student who is learning from Buddha, and it's basically to symbolize a student learning from their teacher. Now, at the entrance to this, there's actually a tiger. Does that look like a tiger to you? And this is very different from the other Dazu Rock carvings, because here we are now starting to see depictions of animals and daily life. The reason that a lot of these are so different is that this was a 70-year effort by monk Zhao Zifeng during the Southern Song period. So while the older Dazu Rock carvings are showing more classic Buddhist teachings, as you can see here, things are moving into a little bit of a different vibe. Some of the themes here are incredibly complex. Like pictured here, those are all Buddha that are above my head. Down below, you can even see people who are in hell.
So this is actually someone in the underworld that is trying to basically escape from the underworld, and then Buddha.
Another example, this is the Wheel of Life. And I'm not sure if you can tell how big this is, but it is huge. The 90 statues of people and 24 statues of animals. There are 6 reincarnations of all the living creatures displayed on the wheel, and it is generally about Buddhist karma and retribution. Look at that color and detail. Okay, this next site is a bit unique compared to the other ones because not only is it gold, it was in the video game Black Myth Wukong, but this is called Guanyi, and it's the golden Buddha that can see what you're thinking, hence the hands on his eyes. All right, now things are getting a little bit more crowded because this is a very popular one. Massive reclining Buddha, directly followed by the niche of Parental Love Sutra. This is depicting parental love in bringing up children. This was the outcome after Buddhist teachings had been localized in China, so this is very different from the other Dazu Rock carvings. Now this one has a story. This is Shakyamuni's filial piety. Okay, let me explain. After attaining enlightenment, he realized that his mother had died shortly after his birth and was reborn in the heaven of 33 gods. Out of filial piety, which is a deep respect and duty towards one's parents, the Buddha ascended so that he could teach her the Dharma, so that she could attain enlightenment. He spent 3 months preaching to her and the gods, and when he returned, the gods built a staircase of jewels connecting heaven and earth for his descent. Basically, it shows that even in enlightenment, Buddha honored and repaid his mother's kindness. And filial piety is considered one of the highest virtues in Chinese culture, bridging Buddhist and Confucian values. So you can literally see him in this scene ascending or preaching to his mother in heaven. Now let's get into something a little bit darker. This is a scene from the 10 courts of hell, essentially a soul awaiting judgment. You can see tormented souls being judged and punished. This is basically supposed to teach moral cause and effect, showing that wrongdoings lead to suffering in the underworld, but that there is redemption through repentance and moral living. What's interesting here is that although this might look different, this is still the same carving. These are the people who judge, teaching about karma and moral justice, that every action in life is recorded and after death your soul is judged by the Yama kings, that there is a path to salvation even for those condemned. What I find interesting about this is that this is very similar to other religions in the world, but Buddhism is more considered a philosophy versus a religion. Until I came across this on Klook, I had no idea that these even existed, so I thought that this was a pretty cool find.
You need to be fit to come here because you have to climb these stairs to get out.
But I hope you enjoyed this visit to Chongqing with me. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you want to see more. And now I have a flight to catch.